This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution. This is the future.
Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foulball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope that you're doing well, because I'm doing phenomenally. Thank you so very much. It's the MFer Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and germs, number 36. That is correct. Oh, I forgot to change the name. Just says the MFer Podcast, number 36. Well, I guess that's what it is. Go back and change that later after we cover some really fascinating topics, some world-changing events, and I'm going to crack them open, get all into it, make it really super interesting. That's what I'm going to do. That's what's happening today. How are y'all? Yeah? Y'all doing great? Hello, Ruben. Ruben likes Luke and Wendell. Everybody likes Luke and Wendell. They're the true stars of Foulball Productions. It's not your boy. It's them too.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm here to stop in the show and say what's up. How's everybody feeling? Are you out there making a difference? Are you making more people smile? Well, I hope so. I certainly hope so, because that's truly what life is all about. Making other people smile, holding their hand, asking if you can help in any way. Just being a good friend. That's how it goes.
Well, as much as I'd like to do Wendell the entire show, I don't think he can carry an hour by himself. We'll find out one day, though. If I get bored, if I feel like shaking it up, just do Wendell all day. And Luke is sleeping somewhere. He's off sleeping somewhere. He can't be bothered with you people. He's the star. He doesn't need to pander. He doesn't need to come on the stream and try to connect with an audience. He knows he's big shit. He knows it. Speaking of big shit, did y'all happen to see my short? I put out a short about progressive dating, which I thought was pretty funny. 10,000 views. 10,000 views on that short. I was quite proud, quite pleased with the outcome there. Got my channel all the way up to 1,786 subscribers. And then YouTube felt that I didn't deserve 4 of those, so brought me back down to 1,782. And I imagine that slide will continue, because for whatever reason, YouTube just doesn't want this channel to grow. I don't know what I did to offend them. Maybe it's my constant challenging of the narratives, my cuss words. I don't know. But they really do make it quite clear they don't want me to grow. But that's okay. I'm going to keep bringing content to you lovely folk who do hang around. To you wonderful people. Ruben, are you spamming the chat? Oh, Jesus, Ruben. Oh, my God. Can't stop laughing when you hear Wendell. Well, that's good. I'm happy to hear that. That makes me smile.
That makes me smile. That warms my soul, Ruben. You're a good man.
Good fella. Hello, low-spec Linux laptop. Hello, emotionally unstable amphibian. Howdy, gentlemen. Howdy. If y'all have not subscribed, because, YouTube, like I said, made it quite clear they want to suppress me. Don't know why. Wish they'd stop. But in an effort to appease them and appease the algorithm, I'm putting all these live streams on another channel. So all of my MFer Podcast shows, after 24 hours, are going to come down off of this channel and go to a new channel, which I just put in the chat, the MFer Podcast, aptly named, I feel. And go subscribe over there. You see all the old episodes, all the new episodes. That's where everything's going to live for the future of the MFer Podcast, which I'm fairly certain will take YouTube by storm. I mean, it hasn't yet, but I have no reason to think that it won't. So go be one of the first. You could be one of the first 10, because I think there's only like 5 or 6 subscribers over there. So go on over to MFer Podcast, subscribe, so you can see all these episodes. If you don't see them live, that's where you'll catch them. And you watch the old ones. You can watch my interview with Chrissy Mayer, Steph, my nerdy home, Max von Priestley, and others, and hopefully more to come. Hopefully more fun guests in the future. We'll see how it goes. So give that a subscribe if you don't mind. I would appreciate it. I don't have all the episodes up there. That takes a while. It takes longer than you'd think, to be honest. I was like uploading like a bunch at once, and the upload speed crawled, and then the computer shut itself off. Like, it went to sleep, and I had to redo them all. So I got to do it like once in a while. I'm trying, one at a time, trying to get them all up there. It's going to take a little while, but after they're all up, should be easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So go check that out. Thank you, Ruben. You like my shorts? I appreciate that. I like them too. Bringing a lot of new eyes to the channel. Some subscribers, some people coming back for more. I don't know. Working on another sketch at the moment. Got more in the tank. You know, more coming down the pike, as they say. So, yeah, keep an eye out for all that stuff. That's it. That's going to be the show. Thanks, guys. Just a commercial for all my other projects. Just kidding. What do we have going on today? What is up? Got, this is pretty funny. This is a good one to start off with. I appreciated this one. This is coming from The Blaze. I don't know if you guys have noticed. It's kind of gone under the radar, but somehow in Hollywood, a lot of projects, a lot of actors, a lot of legacy characters have been replaced by maybe the gender or skin color of not necessarily the one it was originally intended to have. It's pretty interesting. It's been a little thing. Some people have talked about it. Some people haven't. But South Park is all over it, which is pretty friggin' funny. So, South Park brilliantly mocks woke Hollywood by swapping race and gender of beloved cartoon characters, which is just the best. Look at Cartman. Look at sassy Cartman. That's great. Well, there's a little video. Just play the video for you because it does kind of rule. Where are we? Where is it? Here it is. Let's check it out.
It's a brand new exclusive event with all your favorite South Park characters. There's Cartman.
I had explosive diarrhea all night.
Stan.
Dude, school is going to be so awesome today.
Butters.
Oh, hamburgers.
And oh my God, they killed Kenny.
I like big boobs.
How does this even make any sense?
It makes perfect sense. I think the problem is you. South Park, new exclusive event streaming October 27th exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus. Exclusively on Paramount Plus. Isn't that great? I love that South Park got into that. That's pretty funny. And it's funny they're doing it to their own characters and just acting like it doesn't mean anything. And they all have like the same. Do you notice they all have like the same posture, which I thought was great because it's like so consistent with like the way they cast these characters. Like, look, that kind of like hip to the left, like kind of sassy, like I don't give a fuck. They all have the same exact posture. Hand on the hip, like, I'm powerful, short hair, all aggressive, somewhat masculine. Pretty fucking funny. Good for South Park getting into that. I think they're appropriate. They're the appropriate vehicle to smash that down, which is pretty great. So they're saying in recent years, Hollywood and prominent streaming services have recast roles or originally or historically white characters. Disney's live-action adaptation of The Little Mermaid, The Queen Cleopatra, Nick Fury, Idris Elba played Heimdall, Moneypenny, and Bond, we all know. I mean, we've been keeping an eye on this for a while. It has been something that has happened, and I think it's so obvious and so mainstream at this point. You can't not point it out. If you're someone who's funny and you can observe the world around you, like, I don't even know how you could. Not even, you don't even have to be funny. You just have to have like a pair of eyes and notice the world. So it does seem appropriate that Matt Stone and Trey Parker are taking some shots at the news at the it's called South Park joining the Panderverse. Nice. Fourth graders are all now women of color. Brilliant. I think that's great. Keep an eye out for that. That's coming up October 27th. The new episode of South Park streaming. I will check that out. What up, Lord Thoth? Hello, good sir. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for joining the show. Thank you for being here, being a part of this creation. Means a lot. Means a lot. I've been fucking busy. It's been a busy couple weeks, I tell you what. 2 nights ago, though, I did manage to make time to go see none other than the comedian Shane Gillis at the Comedy Mothership. And I'll tell you what, absolute hoot, Nanny. Absolute hoot. Matt McCusker was the act right before Shane. There were a couple other openers that were pretty good, regulars at the Mothership, and it was a blast. Apparently, Shane's moved to Austin. That's what I heard. That's the word around the campfire. I think they were talking about it on their show today, so I'm sure they're not blowing up information that isn't public. But yeah, I guess they made the migration down to Texas from Philly or New York or wherever they are. That's pretty interesting, man. That is pretty interesting. Because, like, historically, right, you've got Los Angeles, you got New York. Those are kind of the hubs for pretty much every type of, like, entertainment, right? Actors, singers, comedians, producers, writers, playwrights, all that shit. Now, lots of cities have their own little markets, right? You always have, like, Atlanta's pretty big for actors because of all the stuff that casts down there and shoots down there. Then you've got all the, like Chicago's got their theater and all that. And then each city's got their own little scene, but none of them really are the main stage. The main stage is L.A. and New York, and especially for comedy, for stand-up comedy. You know, you've got the Comedy Store in Los Angeles. You've got the Comedy Cellar in New York City. Those are the big stages. If you want to be a comic, you want to be a stand-up comic, that's where you go. That's where you go do it. Small time. Hey, buddy. Saying Shane Gillis not getting SNL turned out to be a good thing for her. The best thing. I didn't even know who he was before that. And now I'm in his Patreon. And I didn't do it because, like, yeah, this guy got canceled, woke mob. It just turns out that Shane is hilarious, and he's one of the funniest people working, and one of the funniest people on the planet. Shane's great. Love Shane. Anyway, now, though, Rogan coming to Austin, Texas, man, he has really shifted the game, you know? Obviously, that influenced my decision to move down here. Wasn't the reason, but it was a reason where I was like, let me go take a look at Austin. You know, what's going on? What's the scene like? I want to take a look. You know, California was a hellhole, still is. So I was like, let me go take a look. And I happen to really like the city. And so that helped. And then it was like, cool. So I get to be in a cool town, right? And like I said, I've been to Mothership. That was my fourth trip there, fourth or fifth time I've gone. And it's a great club, super fun. Great comedy. I've never not seen a good show there, and I've seen a few in the smaller room that aren't like the main stage, and each time it has been great. Saw some local comics, saw some traveling comics, and, it's great. But it's become a destination. It's become a real destination. It's probably the hottest comedy club in the country, the Mothership. You know, it's like every good big act comes in through there. I mean, the Creek in the Cave is a pretty good venue that I think Rogan used to perform at, and Gillis did his special there here in Austin. But even that, I feel like, has really gone by the wayside ever since the Mothership opened up. And it's right there on 6th Street, which is like the most popular part of this whole town. And it's I really feel like it's shifting the tables. Now, Shane's here, Rogan's here. I wonder how much that can really impact like the future of stand-up comedy, right? I think with LA, you've got the entertainment industry, so you've got commercial work, you've got television work, you've got all the, little minions that run that business, agents, producers, all that shit. And then in New York, if you're a New York comic, you got, the comedy scene and the best, the crucible of good comedy, but you also have all these other markets you can play. You can drive up and down the eastern seaboard. You can drive out to like Ohio. You can go all these places that are close enough as a comic if you start drawing that you can go to. Thing is, in Texas, you can really only do that if you start flying. Because there's San Antonio, which is pretty close, but it's so close it's almost the same market. And then you've got Dallas and Houston, right? And those are both like 3.5 hours away, which is not, that big of a deal, but it's a drive. You know what I mean? It's a drive to both those cities. And then there's not really much else. Texas is a huge state with a lot of nothing in it, And I wonder, especially I'm thinking more just for up-and-coming comics, like what is the pathway for them? Can you start here? Can you come to Austin, Texas with, little to no experience, and come up the ranks and actually become like a prominent comedian? Like, is this a big enough market? That's an interesting question because it really is starting to become like, I don't know, they've made the comedy scene independent of entertainment, Not to say that like it's going to depart ways completely, but I mean, a lot of what we talk about here on YouTube and especially like on the different, like Nerdsphere, Gary and Jeremy and all those guys, all those prominent YouTubers to talk about, RIPA, independent media, all this alternative media options. Well, shit, dude. There's nothing more independent than taking like a mainstay entertainment industry like comedy and picking it up and moving it to a whole other city and just being like, this is where it happens now. And, during the pandemic, a lot of people moved. I know Segura moved here, obviously Rogan, a few other people, Tony Hinchcliffe. But in the eyes of the world, I think that felt like a little bit reactionary, right? Where it's kind of like everything's going so bad with COVID. We got to get out of here. We got to change, taxation, lockdowns, all that stuff. That's a big reason I left. It's like you go to this different city, go to this different state to like see a different perspective. But now that time has passed and now Shane moves here, I wonder what happens next, I wonder if that is the move. Like, it's a growing city. It's still a relatively small city. It's kind of like it's like a huge small town. It's kind of how Austin feels. It's especially compared to New York and LA, which are gigantic cities that sprawl in every direction. Austin's much smaller. And like, there's suburbs kind of, but not that many. So it's an interesting thing to see what happens in the future. I'm really genuinely curious, like what happens here. Apparently the entertainment industry here is stronger. Like there's a lot more like acting opportunities and production that's starting to happen here. I don't know how much of it is mainstream. I don't know how much of it like goes to Netflix or Paramount or whatever, but it's what I've heard. So I don't know. There's this thing they say in Texas, they call it the Third Coast. Kind of like Houston, that whole area, like the Gulf Coast being the third. I really genuinely wonder from an entertainment industry perspective if Austin is really going to become a new hub of that. I don't know. Part of me likes the idea that it's independent of, Hollywood and the Hollywood system. But if there's money to be made and there's content and product coming out of here, it's not going to remain independent forever. So what does that mean? I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens in the future, truly. I want to see what happens, like if, I don't know, like if it continues to grow, if it continues to become a new hub, is this where comedy lives now? Is Austin, Texas? If so, that's pretty cool, man. Because that means Rogan just like departed ways from the entire structure of all comedy, all entertainment. It was like, no, I'm going to go start my own with blackjack and hookers in Austin. And he fucking did. Dude, now that Shane's here, that's crazy. I mean, Shane's the biggest comic in the country. Well, maybe not the biggest, but the hottest. I'm pretty sure like Chappelle and Kevin Hart are probably bigger, but he is everybody. I feel like so many people I brought up Shane to who don't really spend a lot of time listening to comedy knew exactly who Shane was. Like, oh, he's great. Love him. My girlfriend loves him. My friends like that are just, my friend who's like a literal communist, he likes Shane, So, I don't know. Pretty curious, man. It's a pretty interesting time. So much we were talking about is fucking that independent media going in contrasting the mainstream, being outside the propaganda machine. And look, this is exactly what it is, you know. And then I see the Daily Wire is making a new movie, a new Snow White with Brett Cooper, which I was like, okay. I really cared about Snow White, but I guess I see why they're doing it, you know, because the Disney one's laughably bad. We'll see. I still think the Daily Wire's main problem is that they're still a conservative media network, and they're still going to be perceived that way. And until you can kind of separate that image, you're only going to get a portion of the population, you know? You're only going to get the people who are already kind of there and sort of in that circle, in my opinion. And I think it's, you know, I think that's a reasonable opinion. You know, if you go to the Daily Wire's homepage, there's banner ads for liberal tears mugs. You know, like that's a little polarizing. I say I have a lot of conservative beliefs and stuff like that. And even for me, I'm just like a little eye rolly. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I don't know. I'm excited, though. The future of independent content, I think, is a great thing. I think the more people who don't need to, like, ask, you know, they don't need to be sanctioned. They don't need the authority. I think that's a good thing. I think it's a really good thing, you know. Apparently the unions are really big here in Austin, so I don't know, like, I don't know. I was kind of wondering about the union. Like, what if I just made a movie, right? And then distributed it? Do I have to, like, when does it become I'm obligated to, like, the unions? How does that work? Because it's not like it's a law. It's not like I legally have to hire union actors. I just have to do it if I'm, like, playing by SAG's rules. Well, like, when does SAG step in and have the authority to say, no, you can't do this if you don't use union, blah, blah, blah? I don't know. It's a good question. Something I should look into. Hello, Texas Taurus. Austin has the drugs. Austin sure does have the drugs. I will tell you that. Bar I used to work at in North Austin. Jesus Christ, so much coke at that bar. So much coke at that bar. That bar's no longer there. I'm not going to give away the name, but it's closed. So, you know, I'm not snitching on anybody. But there were bartenders doing lines behind the, you know, at work. I was just like, Jesus, guys, this is getting a little out of hand. This is a little crazy, guys. You know, having a drink or two at work, I get it. Bartenders, you know, takes the edge off. But you guys are shit-faced. You're blasted at work, doing lines, partying. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, Austin does have quite the drug scene. That is a fact. Small time. Albuquerque, Atlanta, Austin definitely show that LA is not the end-all be-all. No, that's true. That's true. Difference with the Albuquerque, Atlanta, those things though are kind of like satellites of the bigger office of like LA being like the corporate home of all entertainment industry. They still report back. They're not doing their own thing. They're just like franchises of Hollywood, you know? They're still doing the same exact shit. They got the same exact mandates. They're written with the same people, same executives, same, you know, woke crap. They're all kind of the same thing. So as much as that is expanding, those things, though, they're still beholden to a greater master. I don't see comedy like that. I certainly don't see the Austin comedy scene like that at all. You know? I mean, although I used to, when I first landed here, the open mics were pretty fucking woke. I would go to these open mics, and it was just like, God, it was just like socialism and shit like that. Just like real lefty takes. And I was like, ugh. This is not what I was hoping stand-up comedy was going to be like. I didn't think it was going to be a sounding board for shitty leftist ideas. I thought it was going to be like kind of the opposite. Like independent. Like we're fighting for our own, you know, voice. We don't need, and it's like, oh God, you guys are just leftists in comedy? Oh, that sucks. But apparently that's super big and super popular. Although I have seen some good open mics here. Don't get me wrong. I've seen some good open mics in Austin, Texas. The Creek and the Cave, I don't know if they still do, but they had a great open mic. Super funny. I really enjoyed like the comics. The local, there's a lot of local talent here. Ruben, Austin could become like the 1960s, a new Berkeley or Greenwich Village in Texas for free speech, entertainment, and an economic boom. Maybe. A lot of big tech here. You know, they're not the best with free speech. They're really not. They're kind of the one of the main drivers in making it not free speech, to be honest. And there's like the Google buildings here, Oracle buildings here. I mean, I know Elon's here, and he's obviously still got his X experiment, which is good. You know, I was reflecting on that whole X thing, and I was thinking about it like, what's the, what's the state of the world now? Like, what's the state of conversation? Because for so long, it was just Twitter dominated, the takes, the blue check marks. That was like the joke, right? The blue check marks on Twitter all having the same opinions. And that was like the big gag. And that doesn't exist anymore. Are things better or worse? I definitely think, and I'm not trying to shit on Twitter. First of all, my engagement is terrible there. My tweets get like 30, 40 views. It's fucking horrible. Like, it's just no engagement at all. And secondly, that's just because I could just suck. I'm not saying it's Twitter's fault. I'm just saying for me, it's just like such an uphill battle to get, one like, one retweet. It's like, I don't even like doing this. It's like, I just do it to market, and it doesn't even seem to have that much of a response anyway. But man, the bots. Jesus, the bots are alive and well on Elon's Twitter, man. They're everywhere. I feel like anytime I get a new follower, it's a bot. Getting messages from bots. Just bots all day long on that platform. Now, I don't know if that's Elon's fault or if that's just the nature of the beast, but oh my God, so many bots. So many bots and no engagement. And then it's like I said, I think it's a good thing. There's a platform now for not just liberals to go yell at everybody. That's great. But it's also kind of got that same vibe just now. It's just kind of more right-wing stuff, It's just kind of my entire feed is just like dunking and stories about this and don't you. I'm just like, oh, God. I don't need that either, man. I don't need that either. It still seems just as toxic. It's just not dominated by one ideology anymore, which I guess is a good thing. I don't know. Small Time says maybe Shapiro's sister will be the evil queen and have a tight-fitting top. We can only hope. Small Time, fingers crossed on that one. I'll pray. I'll pray to that one. Shapiro's been pretty spicy recently. A lot of people are spun up about this whole Israel and Palestine thing. It's a pretty intense conversation, and I think I did a little bit of it in my video, and Ryan Long did a good video about it last week about actors not knowing which side to pick, which is pretty goddamn funny. Tim Dillon had a good tweet about it where he was saying, like there's like this real magnanimous, just kind of like, this is a time for healing and da-da-da-da-da, and please disregard the last 5 posts that my team made me take down. Sincerely, like Hollywood actress or whatever. It's an interesting one because it's kind of a lot of infighting on the left, right? Like the right knows what they think about this one. They know who the good guy and who the bad guy is, and they're all in with Israel. No, there's no real debate there. But the left, they're pretty fractured. And it's eating them alive, which is goddamn hilarious. For instance, there is an actor group that's all signed a petition or a letter or something like that is condemning Israel about the war. They're saying war crimes. So, letter from 2,000 actors and musicians slammed for accusing Israel of war crimes while ignoring Hamas terrorist slaughter. A letter signed by more than 2,000 actors, artists, and musicians, including Tilda Swinton and Steve Coogan. Now, I like Steve Coogan. That sucks that he's taken this stance. Which is actually kind of interesting, too, because there's a series of movies that he did called The Trip. I think there's 4 or 5 of them. There's The Trip to Italy, The Trip to Spain, The Trip to Greece. So I guess there's 4. And in The Trip to Spain, Steve Coogan's character is kind of like sounding off about all the crusade stuff, because they're always very into history in these movies. And he's kind of sounding off about the Middle East and like Christians and being kind of a pukey liberal about it. But then at the end of this movie, spoiler alert, he actually ends up in North Africa and gets, like, I think, kidnapped. It's implied he gets kidnapped or killed by this terrorist group. So kind of, I think the point of the movie was trying to make is that it's not as simple as it sounds, right? You can just say these, like, douchey kind of leftist Hollywood dumb shit things, but at the end of the day, it's a pretty complicated situation. And I was like, that was pretty ballsy of them to put that out there like that. I respected it. But now Coogan's one of the guys in this letter being a twat, being a douche. Now look, I don't care if, like, you know, whatever, you support Palestine. I do think this whole situation is pretty complicated. But like, are you pro baby murder, dude? Like, you gotta draw the line somewhere, man. It's I don't know how you can see it the way you're seeing it, but let's see here. Oh, there's an open letter. Do we actually have the letter? That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. Okay, so now more than 3,300 have signed. It says, we are witnessing a crime and a catastrophe. Israel has reduced much of Gaza to rubble and cut off the supply of water, power, food, and medicine to 2.3 million Palestinians. In the words of the UN's Undersecretary of Humanitarian Affairs, the specter of death is hanging over the territory. Gaza is already a society of refugees, and the children of refugees now in their hundreds of thousands bombarded from air, sea, and land. Palestinians whose grandparents were forced out of their homes at the barrel of a gun are now being told to flee or face collective punishment. Blah, 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 blah. Our governments are not only tolerating war crimes, but aiding and abetting them. But now we condemn the violence. We support... Here we go. We support the global movement against the destruction of Gaza and the mass displacement of the Palestinian people. We demand that our governments and their military and political support for Israel's actions. Wow. And we call for immediate ceasefire and the opening of Gaza's crossing to allow humanitarian aid to enter unyielded. So it does kind of sound like it's... look, so much of this is more complicated than I am qualified to comment on. And I'm not just saying that to be like a fence rider. I really don't know enough about any of this to have like a concrete opinion. From where I'm sitting, from what I have seen, I don't know how you could be on Palestine's side. That's just my thing. I've tried to break it all down. I know it's complicated, but it also seems like historically they've just like, don't they have like a anti... Like, isn't it they want to kill Jews? Like, that's like their thing, like Hamas. So, I don't know. Are you on their side at all, ever? That's a tough stance to get behind, man. I'm sorry. That's a tough one. So, from where I'm seeing, it just doesn't look like there's any... I don't see how you can be on their side. Now, I can understand wanting to open humanitarian aid, but Israel supplies them with power. Why is it their responsibility to continue to do so? Like I said, I don't think I understand the situation well enough, but it's just kind of like, well, then they're doing that out of the goodness of their hearts, and there's a lot of murder coming out of that region directed at them, so they're like, oh, fuck yourself. Guess you're going to have to go power your own shit now. You know, I don't know. It seems like a weird one. I don't even know why they... Is there? I'm sure there's more to it than that, because I don't know I really don't know what I'm talking about here. I've done very little research on this subject, but just from what I'm seeing, I'm just like... I don't know, man. They're pretty clearly the bad guys to me. I don't know. But it is pretty funny to see them, like, all kind of infighting, you know? I think that's rad for me. Because I think that's just hilarious. That there's no clear take. You know, that was the joke in my little short. Is that, you know, progressive women are so... it's just such a, like, ideological... You're basically battling with a whole ideology, not just an individual, when you have, like, a discussion like that. You know, people are like in the comments are like, why don't you just tell the truth? I'm like, I always did. And it always resulted in some kind of fracture or fight or argument or something like that because they're so committed. So the joke is lie because they'd rather hear you fucking lie. They'd rather hear what they want to hear because it's too fucking dicey to disagree with them in this climate and in these cities, especially as a white guy. Forget it. You are immediately the villain. No matter what, you better have the right opinion, pal, or you're getting in trouble. And like people like, you know, got upset. They're like, tell the truth. It's like, yeah, first of all, it's a joke, idiot. And secondly, this is why you lie, because people are like, fucking Trump died. Nah. Fucking jerk-offs. But the last joke was just about her asking about Israel, Palestine, and me being like, and not having an answer because there is no clear answer, right? Like like I said, with the Republicans, right wing, with the left, I don't know. Like if I had to kind of guess where they're, I don't know. It really depends, man. Because it used to be, anti-Semitism was like one of the worst problems in America just like a few months ago. And now they're like these goddamn colonizing Jews. Like that changed real quick, dude. That was a instant, man. That was like the speed of electricity. It wasn't even like a grieving period or like a time to think about it. It was like that. Wow. You went from goddamn white supremacists and anti-Semitism to these colonizing Zionists like so fast. Oh, golly. Small town republic. Do those pro-Palestinian actors realize who signs their checks? Yeah, that's the weird one. That's a weird one too. Coming out of Hollywood, pro-Palestine. You're like, really? Okay. I don't know. I'm just glad it ain't me. I'm glad I'm not caught up in that crossfire. Because I've kind of made it a point to not really be picking sides. Kind of have my own ideas about the situation and not really be alleged. What's the word? Not be in alliance with any side or any political ideology. Like I take from the ones that I agree with. And I believe in those. But I'm certainly not beholden to some mass, but man, these people are. That's a tricky spot for those poor actors, man. It's a tough one. Our governments, not tolerating war, but for now, we demand the governments. Come on, Steve. What are you doing, buddy? The letter makes no mention of how Hamas terrorists murdered at least 1,400 people and took 200 hostages. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you do about that, dude. The terrorists have reportedly been ordered to target elementary schools and youth centers in Israel to kill as many people as possible during their bloody sneak attack on October 7th. I mean, I don't know, dude. They don't seem like the good guys to me. I don't know. They really don't. I don't know. Like I said, I'm glad I don't have to pick a side here. Very, very, very relieved. But, ooh, I don't know. I don't know how you look at the guys who are killing kids. I mean, like, those poor people. They've really got it rough. Oh, jeez. Sorry. Yes. Also, words are violence. Silence is violence, but actual violence isn't really violence. So, yeah. Pretty wild time we're living in. Pretty interesting. All right, so we got actors making idiots of themselves. We got South Park mocking the race swapping. Alec Baldwin might get recharged. Remember that story? On the movie, what was it called? Rust was the movie? Alec Baldwin kind of shot that chick. Not kind of, did shoot that chick. And it was very controversial. We talked a lot about it. I remember Jake D had a pretty fiery point of view on that there's absolutely no reason, and I agree with him, there's absolutely no reason why there should have been live ammunition anywhere near that set, and he's correct. And that they were just like firing these prop guns off in the woods, just like, and then accidentally left a live round, killing a woman. Like, I guess in that regard, when I was, it's good to have like a union. It's good to have like people there that are looking out after that and making sure it's not like innocent people getting shot, right? Like, because you didn't check the fucking gun and because your armorer was like a 23-year-old girl, maybe in that regard. But that was a union shoot, so I don't know. But prosecutors will recharge Alec Baldwin over lethal movie shooting after results from independent forensic test. Here. Prosecutors in New Mexico said they would file charges against actor Alec Baldwin again over the shooting incident that claimed the life of the cinematographer. Special prosecutor Carrie Morrissey said the charges against Baldwin would be brought before a Santa Fe grand jury in November. The accidental shooting injured director Joel Souza and killed 42-year-old cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. Dude, what a bad day on set that must have been. Jesus Christ. Baldwin was holding the gun when it went off, but he claimed numerous times he did not pull the trigger on the weapon. Jake D., are you still there? You know a lot about guns. What's the likelihood of that? What's the likelihood that a live round is in this gun and it just cooks off without his interference? Does anyone know? I feel like that's mighty unlikely. I don't know for sure, but that's my inclination. Let me know. If anyone knows, please let me know. That sounds unlikely. Prosecutors say that an independent forensic test has found that Baldwin must have pulled the trigger on the revolver in order for it to go off. That's what I would assume. After extensive investigation over the past several months, additional facts have come to light we believe show Mr. Baldwin has criminal culpability in the death of Halyna Hutchins and the shooting of Joel Souza. We believe the appropriate course of action is to permit a panel of New Mexico citizens to determine from here whether Mr. Baldwin should be held for a criminal trial. The statement continued. Attorneys for Baldwin responded with a brief statement. It is unfortunate that a terrible tragedy has been turned into this misguided prosecution. We will answer any charges in court. Smart response. But yeah. Oh, okay. In October, Baldwin and the movie's producers settled a wrongful death lawsuit, so he paid out because he killed her, with the family of Halyna Hutchins, and then went on to finish the movie in May. Oh, wow, the movie's coming out. All right, well, that's interesting. Be curious to check out the blood-drenched movie Rust and see if it really was worth someone's life. Probably not, though. But pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know. Baldwin might get charged again. Pretty curious. Pretty curious. I don't know. This is interesting. Let's see how you guys feel about this, because I didn't know how to feel about it. I was like, oh, that was like cuter than I expected. But I'll show you guys this video real quick. And you tell me what you think. Because I saw this earlier and I was like, that's interesting, but also kind of insane. I don't know, you tell me. Oh, whoops, what's going on here? Wait, why is this not playing? Oh, for Christ's sake. Oh, heavens, I'm boomering it. Sorry, guys. Boomerang. Goddamn. Alright. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Don't abandon ship. There we go. Alright. Comedian tracks down troll.
I was on stage in Birmingham. Some guy shouted out chicken wire. I got off stage and I assumed that was the end of it. But no, every time I post on my Facebook fan page for the last 10 years, he comments and he writes chicken wire. But he made a mistake. He used his real name. I found him on LinkedIn. I know where he works now. So today, I'm driving 150 miles to EE in Dudley to pay him a little visit. He's an assistant manager. Working there for 10 years, you should be more than assistant manager, you loser. What even is chicken wire? I guess it's the wire they put on chicken cages. I'm not a chicken. Why are you shouting chicken wire at me for the last 10 years? Chicken wire! Chicken wire! Chicken wire! I win! You lose! Chicken wire! Chicken wire! Chicken wire! This is years in the making. He's been trolling me for 10 years. And now I win 10 years! He has been trolling me! Chicken wire! Chicken wire! I win! 10 years ago, I was on stage in Birmingham. Some guy...
Well, do you in fact feel that he has won? I don't know. That was a little weird. Like, it made me uncomfortable when I saw the title, and I was like, what did he do? Like, some guy heckled him, and 10 years later, he got vengeance? Okay, I checked it out, and it was like, huh. I mean, I don't know why he's posting chicken wire, but who cares? I mean, I get a bunch of comments on YouTube. Well, I get some comments occasionally. But I don't really, I don't know, like... If someone on my video, I've been doing YouTube for over 3 years. If someone on my every video, every post I ever did put chicken wire, I would be curious. I'd be like, what the hell? Is that like a reference to the Blues Brothers where they threw the bottles at him? and it hit the chicken wire and shattered because he sucks? Is that what the joke is? I'd just be curious. But I wouldn't... It's a weird thing. I guess for 10 years, someone doing that is a little crazy. But, I mean, I guess he went viral for it. It's content. But even when he got there, like, it wasn't that funny. He just goes, chicken wire, I won, and it's over. I'm like, okay, man. You know, get a hobby. Go build some Legos, you know? That Ghost of Tsushima game is amazing. Go play that, you know? Go pass the time that way. I can't understand him just be like, oh, this guy and his chicken wire comments. I think I just start off by messaging him. Be like, what's with all the chicken wire? What's the deal with that? Why do you keep doing that? Or mentioned him on Twitter or something. But to drive 150 miles each direction to just go in there and yell chicken wire. Okay. Pwned, I guess. I don't know. I was like, that was insane, man. That was a little bit of a weird... That was a weird thing to do. Bizarre. Yeah, low spec. That's how I feel. Just kind of like, huh? What? Why'd you do that? Why did you do that, man? I don't know. I was like, all right. Got him. Yep, in his face. Fucking insane. Pretty wild. All right. Here we go. There's a few other things I had like marked, but they're so boring. I just kind of more like there was a pretty good one going around that I mean, if you guys have been on Twitter or Instagram today, you've probably seen it if you follow like any kind of right-wing media. There is like an insurrection at the Capitol today. It's all these pro-Palestinian people like took over the Capitol and staged a protest, and you're like, yeah, pretty sure you sent a lot of people to jail for the rest of their lives for that exact thing. I imagine you'll handle it the same way, right? Pretty sure? Pretty sure? No, don't think so. Don't think so. But yeah, it's just one of those things where you're just like so beaten down that you just kind of like, all right. Israel, more than 300 people. Well, I guess they were arrested, so that's good. 300 people were arrested and detained while calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. But U.S. Capitol Police. U.S. Capitol Police demonstration activity. Oh, it's a demonstration. This time it's a demonstration, not an insurrection. Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure they're all going to go away for the rest of their lives. I feel like they also probably weren't ushered through and given a tour. Pretty sure there were no cops letting the barriers down for them. And they're all going to end up in prison for the rest of their lives. I'm pretty sure that's exactly how one's going to play out. But there was that story, and Michael Rappaport is making an ass of himself. Not really. He's like, that guy, you ever watch him? He's like, he's an actor, right? Obviously. He's kind of a comedic actor. But he's just such a hot take artist, too. And he I don't know. He irks me. And I guess as someone who's like on a stream doing hot takes, it's a little... what's the word, like hypocritical of me to be like, oh, this guy on the internet saying what he thinks, what a douche, you know. But I don't know. It just kind of irks me when he does it. He was calling out the squad for their anti-Israel statement, but it's just kind of like, I'm like, all right, well, I don't know. You're coming across like a douche. But in other news, Loch Ness Monster, heard about it. I'm sure you've heard about it throughout the years. Guess what? Real. The Loch Ness Monster, apparently quite real. Aliens are real. Bigfoot's real. Loch Ness is real. Come on, guys. Get up with it. Is this the Loch Ness Monster? Clearest evidence yet captured by stunned onlooker. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, there's going to be an ad. Of course there's going to be a stupid ad for... Ew. Come on. God damn it. Why are you making me look at that? That's the photo? That? Come on, dude. You cannot be serious. Look at that terrible photo. That could be anything. It could be rocks. Okay. All right. They are still keeping this one going, huh? Nessie's still real? Clearest evidence yet? Alrighty. I mean, I can't even. Amid the flurry of alleged Nessie sightings of late, one Scottish photographer has purportedly captured the most definitive proof that the iconic Loch Ness Monster isn't just a myth. The Loch Ness Centre has recently reported a new sighting of Scotland's beloved monster, which is possibly the clearest evidence yet of Nessie's existence. The alleged encounter occurred on October 8th around 5 p.m. John Howie reported spotting a 12 to 15-foot Nessie-shaped figure moving through Loch Ness towards the tree line. Why is his camera so shit? Dude, I hope it's real, but that is the worst photo I've ever seen. What was he using? Was he using one of those like 1890s cameras that you gotta go poof and it's just like a puff of smoke comes out? That is the lowest resolution. My iPhone could definitely get a better photo than that. What the hell? The grift in Loch Ness is real. I agree, small time. I mean, but damn, dude, how is this a story? Like, look at that terrible photo. That's awful. That's absolutely awful. And no, it's likely not just a whale penis. Okay, good to know. I mean, come on. Jesus, New York Post, you are reaching. And I am reaching talking about it, I tell you. I tell you what. I guess there's another Bigfoot sighting, too. I don't know, man. It's been weird. You know, the past few podcasts I've done here, I've I normally try to do like a fair amount of research or at least try to find a bunch of topics to talk about. Because when you're by yourself, it gets a little rough. And I don't really care what's going on in Hollywood. Like, I don't really care about the Ahsoka or Marvel or any of that shit. And that was my, that's how I started talking about all this stuff. But I honestly, man, I'm so burnt on any of that. I just can't care. Me and my girlfriend started watching Ted Lasso. Hello, Keely. We started watching the Ted Lasso show. Actually really like it. You know? It was one of those shows that, like, all the normies were watching. And I'm just kind of like, I'm probably going to hate that. And started it and did. I was like, this sucks. This sense of humor is whack. This is so cutesy and lame. And then I work with a guy who's like, no, dude, I thought the same thing. Now that it's over, I can't believe it's over and I don't get any more Ted Lasso. And I was like, all right. You fucking say so. So I went back to my girlfriend's place the next night and I was like, listen, I know this sounds crazy, but I want to give this show one more shot. She's like, why? I'm like, let's just try. She's like, all right. And so we started watching. End of the first episode, I was like, okay, I kind of see what this is about. I see what's going on here. And then, like, honestly, like 3 episodes in, I was like, really, like, that is so fucking cute. Like, it was like, shit, this show is adorable. Like, it does have a really good heart. And it's like, it doesn't really do any of the obnoxious things that so many shows do. It's got like a good, like a good true north, and it just kind of goes in that direction. It's super fun. It, like, sometimes it is very funny. Sometimes it's kind of corny. But for the most part, overall, it's just a nice, like, enjoyable, adorable kind of show. And I was watching that. I was watching Hostiles the other night. I don't know. I guess for me, I just don't feel like I need to have a take on everything. I feel like I don't need to, like, keep an eye out on what's going on there and I just talk about it. It just, for me, I just don't have any interest in doing that. Like, it's, I don't know. By the way, it's completely covered. You don't need me to do it, you know? It's just not, I don't think I'm the best for it. There's plenty of other people that do it, make it much more interesting. You know, like Mahler's video about Ahsoka was great. And it's just so much more. It's like, good, you guys got it. But then it's like, well, what do I talk about? I don't know. I guess anything else. And then I go to the news sites and I'm trying to come up with topics. I'm trying to find articles for us to read and watch. And like, god damn, dude. Recently, it's just been all Israel and Hamas. It's all it's been. And I'm like, trying to find like a funny angle on that shit, but it is exhausting. It is stressful. And it is like, man. You know, we're just like the quirky, weird news stories, you know? I want something funny. And it's like everyone's energy has been kind of shifted, you know, even the people who are just like, this word's racist and trans, all that has all just now gone there. And it's all just that. Now this is the culture war. They're just like, you know, I'll keep an eye on it, but it's not something I can really spend all that much energy on. It's not something I even really, you know, even understand. Like I was watching like the Lotus Eaters have a really good video about like the history of that region and like how far back it goes and all this interest. And I was like, oh, that's pretty sick. Like I like that. You know, that's helpful to me because I don't fucking know. So cool. And I'm just trying to like gather information here. I certainly don't have like a passionate take, but it's like, what the hell else am I going to talk about here? You know, when it was the Culture Crime Fighters, me and Vidge could just talk about our days, but now it's me just on the stream by myself, and it's just like, man, even if I cared about this shit, I couldn't talk about it all day. So it's just kind of been a weird time. Thanks, Thoth. Appreciate you, buddy. Trying to make it entertaining, trying to make it interesting, trying to give you something. It's a tricky one, man. It's a tricky one right now. It's just all anyone could talk about. It's all any news sites covering. It's everything. It's just that shit. I don't fucking know. Small time, I actually enjoyed Loki, but people feel like they are required to hate it. That's an interesting take. I think that's true about a lot of things. You know, I think you're kind of required to hate it. Like, you know, Mahler is the guy who talks about how good Andor is, which makes me want to watch it because I respect his opinion usually. Not on everything, but most things. He hates The Expanse, which I don't fucking understand. But no one talks about it, you know, because it's like you're kind of, like you said, you feel like you're required to hate on it. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, I get that because it's like we don't really want more of this Star Wars shit. But I genuinely do just want good content. And I'm not equipped for a culture war like that. I can't just like pick up stakes and, you know, fight for everything that comes out and give you my take and trash on it. I don't know. I just don't care, man. It's just boring for me. I want to enjoy things and enjoy content and find cool shit and talk about it, you know, or make it. That's more fun for me than anything. So I guess I'll just be focusing on that. You know, it's tough. It's really challenging out here to like, I don't know. It's almost like I kind of yearn for the days when it was just, you know, the She-Hulk sucks and fucking, you know, all these things. Cause it's like, all right, well, at least we have some juicy topics to talk about. We could get everyone stirred up, but now it's just kind of like, ugh. God, I've seen so many dead people in the past few weeks. I'm sick of it, man. I don't like it. I really don't enjoy it. Lord Thoth, I hate Loki because I'm a massive Thor comic fan dating back to the 60s. Yeah, you know, that's interesting because a lot of people hate Dredd for that same reason, and I love that movie, but I guess it's nothing like the comics, or it's something, like there's something that people just don't appreciate. They're like, it's not a Judge Dredd story at all. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have that bias. Obviously, I always want things to be honored to the source material, but I don't really have any kind of dog in that fight. I'm just not interested. Like, I don't know. Like, all the breakdowns I saw about Loki with, like, the time police and the timelines and the multiverse shit, I don't care. Like, that seems lame to me. But then again, I just want an entertaining show. So if it's good, maybe I should watch it. I do want to watch that Andor show, you know? I'm curious. The strike's over. Hopefully we'll get Severance Season 2 soon. I don't know. Small time. It definitely seems like a deconstruction of the character. I enjoyed it because it seems competent, unlike most Marvel shows. Word. Lord Thoth, I love Dredd, and I love the comic too. If you treat the character right, it can work. Yeah, I hope so. I mean, that was pretty badass. Like, I really love that movie. I think it's such a cool idea. And just the drug and everything in there was just so fucking interesting. I really dug it, but I get it. It is a tough time. Like, I've shifted away from genre content because it really just, there just isn't anything all that good out there for us in that regard. Stop going down, microphone. Look at this. You son of a bitch. There we go. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, it's like, that's a bummer. Because I like genre content. I like sci-fi. I like fantasy. I like that stuff, but it's like, it's all dead right now. You know, we need like a real rain to come and wash away the streets, Travis Bickle style. But honestly, I mean, I just feel like it all needs to be like kind of reset and start over. Because what is good in this content right now? Like, I don't give a shit about the MCU. I definitely don't care about any of the Star Wars stuff. Like, the Lord of the Rings brand has been decimated. That Wheel of Time thing looks horrible. Like, fantasy, sci-fi, genre content is dead right now. Just absolutely dead. Even if it's popular and makes money, it's dead. There's nothing in there. I hear people say Strange New Worlds is pretty good. Maybe. I don't really care. I need you to come back to me. You know, I'm a fan of this stuff, but the thing is, a lot of this shit is old and older than Hollywood, and there's a lot of stuff out there that is still worth experiencing. There's still a third Altered Carbon book I haven't read, which is supposed to be terrific. You know what I mean? That'll take up how many hours of my life? I got that Ghost of Tsushima game, fucking phenomenal. I don't need it. I don't need your new shit. I don't need to be on it. I don't need to talk about it. It doesn't really interest me. I just want to, I want to enjoy things. I really do. And I think all the juice in the tank of trashing what they've done to our legacy characters and all that stuff, I think that's all been spent. I think you need to move I think you need to take the next step into the conversation as to why are they doing that. You know? It's like, yeah, they're doing it. Yeah, Hollywood stinks, but why? There's something bigger at play here. It's got nothing to do with, like, Luke Skywalker. It's got much more to do with, like, global politics, Maoist cultural revolution and shit like that. Like, that's the conversation now, to me, if you're keeping an eye on this stuff. Whether or not Hollywood stinks, to me, is irrelevant at this point, because they do. And the question is, why are they like that? Where is this coming from? Why is academia so saturated in communism? Why is America, like, accepting so much of this shit that's so destructive and so hateful? Why? Where does that come from? To me, that's where this conversation is at now. And I just can't be like, and I'm not the guy, by the way. Like, watch James Lindsay, watch Razor Fist, watch, Carl Benjamin. Those guys know. They're on the fucking cutting edge. But I personally can't just be like, and this show sucks. It's like, yeah, I know, man. We all know it sucks. Like, it's just at this point, like, what are you saying? You could say why. And I guess, like, if you want to get into, like, a street fight with, like, the fans, like the Ahsoka fans, I guess you can go do that. But why, man? All that shit they think they love, they will not rewatch it. No one's going back to rewatch The Mandalorian, dude. That shit will be a memory in like 5 years. Be like, oh yeah. It's got no staying power. It's got no depth. Just like the Star Wars, the sequel trilogy, no one's gonna rewatch that shit. It's not gonna last. It's not gonna be carried through history. It will fade. So let them think. You want to monetize it, that's fine. But like, it shouldn't give you even 1 second of unrest if these people are out there like saying Ahsoka's great and all this shit. Just like, it isn't. We know it isn't. Let those idiots talk. They're fucking. I mean, they're dangled with you dangle keys in front of their face and they're distracted. Like they're not the whatever. They can have their opinion. They can say what they want to say. Who gives a shit about it? It means nothing. And they will change with the wind and the tide the second it changes. So it doesn't matter. Their opinions mean nothing. Absolutely nothing. Strange New Worlds is worse than Discovery. All right, heard Thoth. I don't need to check it out. Small time. Andor and Rogue One. The only things I found okay with Disney Star Wars, Dave Filoni as a child. Yeah, he stinks, dude. He stinks. And now I'm just going to do what I said I wasn't going to do. But fucking Zach's had me on a few weeks ago to talk about the Ahsoka show. And I was mad he made me watch it, man. I watched that first episode and I was like, it wasn't even that bad. It was just so boring. It was so dull. Nothing happened. So much talking and the editing. And then like when you see, I saw the clips of where it went. Her like cutting down spaceships, with the lightsabers. She's exactly that character that was in the South Park thing that we just showed. Where they're all just like sassy woman of color who doesn't give a fuck. It's just like, cool. I mean, dope. Like, I don't know, destroy the brand. I don't care. You can't get me to care about this stuff anymore. I just can't. I won't. I don't. Let it go right on by. Start watching the new season of Yellowstone, dude. Whatever. I'm here for good content, and that's it. You know, the only thing, I still working on my Barbie video because that is fucking evil. That is pure evil, and that needs to be stomped out. That is a evil, evil movie. That is so much worse than I expected. That is pure, unadulterated evil, the Barbie movie. But all right, folks. I think that's going to do it for me today for this 36th episode of the MFer Podcast. Sorry if it was a little... Wasn't a whole lot... so little to talk about, man. So little to talk about right now that isn't fucking Israel and Hamas, and I don't know how to make that funny or interesting. So, yeah. Doing my best. Going to keep coming at you with new content. Keep an eye out for the new stuff. Like I said, also, don't forget to go to the MFer Podcast channel and subscribe, because that's where all these episodes are going to end up eventually. And hopefully, I will be able to just do it all there and just keep it there, including the streaming. But right now, there's no presence over there yet. So go over there and be one of the few. Be one of the chosen few and go sign up for the MFer Podcast over, just subscribe. That's where all these episodes are going to end up when they're done. All right, folks. Thank you so very much for watching today. I hope you have a great day, a great afternoon, a great Thursday evening. Go make something of it, you know? Go have a good old time. Trying to see what I could end in for today's show. What's a good one? Oh, I guess we'll just go out with Ruben dancing. All right. Y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Press like if you haven't. All that good shit. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Good.